In a faraway village, there was a wise but eccentric man named Juha. Juha was known in his village not only for his wisdom but also for his sense of humor and cleverness. He was always the one people turned to when they faced a dilemma or problem. One day, a poor woman named Amina, a young widow, came to Juha. She had lost her husband in a tragic accident on the road. Her husband was a farmer, and he left her a small plot of land that she hoped to live on with her children. However, life had not been fair to her. "I need your help, Juha," said Amina, her voice weak, sitting across from him, her eyes filled with sadness. "Someone came and claimed that this land belongs to him, and he filed a lawsuit against me in court. He said that my late husband had transferred ownership to him before his death. But I don't believe that, and I had no knowledge of it." Juha, with his well-known wisdom, replied, "Have you heard of the judge who only rules on cases in exchange for money?" Amina answered, her face showing concern, "Yes, I've heard of him. Everyone talks about him in the village. They say he won't make a decision unless one of the parties pays him a bribe." Juha smiled calmly and said, "Don't worry, we will handle this carefully. It will help you." The next day, Juha decided to take Amina to the nearby city where the notorious judge resided. The city was much larger than their village, and its market was full of activity and noise. Juha and Amina walked to the courthouse, where the infamous judge received cases in a grand hall. However, the judge was known for his greed and lack of justice. Juha and Amina sat in a corner, waiting for their case to be heard. The judge, who had already started hearing previous cases, seemed uninterested in Amina's. He was glancing over the documents in front of him, focusing instead on the defendant, a powerful and influential man from the village, but Juha knew exactly what he needed to do. He went to one of the judge's servants and whispered something in his ear before calmly returning to his seat. When it was time for Amina's case, the judge raised his head and said loudly, "Today, we will settle this case between the widow and a man from the village. Let's begin." Before the judge could start hearing testimonies, Juha asked to speak, saying, "Your Honor, I would like to tell you a short story that might help you make the right decision." The judge smiled at first, thinking Juha would be just another person wasting time. "Go ahead, but quickly, time is precious." Juha began his story. "One day, there was a small bird flying in the sky, and below him, a poor man was carrying a basket filled with eggs. Suddenly, the bird, feeling hungry, flew down and took an egg from the basket. The man looked up at the bird and said, 'You have stolen my egg, you must return it.' The bird responded, 'But I was hungry, and I couldn't resist the egg.' The judge laughed a little and said, 'What does this story mean?' Juha answered wisely, 'The point is that a person should not be judged solely by the act, but we must consider the circumstances. Here, we are talking about the woman's right to her land, which was taken from her under harsh circumstances. She should not lose it just because someone paid money to get a judgment in their favor.' The judge took a deep breath and said, 'Well, but first we need to hear the evidence and testimonies.' The judge continued reviewing the documents while Juha observed closely. But something was off. Suddenly, Juha smiled and pointed to one of the documents, saying, 'Your Honor, this document is not legitimate. Someone has tampered with the dates and seals to falsify the facts.' This revelation shocked everyone. The judge looked at the document and then at the defendant, who appeared uneasy. Juha said, 'This man has bribed you to rule in his favor. If you accept a bribe, then you are violating the laws of justice.' At first, the judge hesitated, but as time passed, he realized that Juha was right. The judge then decided to conduct a full investigation into the case. As the people waited in the courtroom, the judge began thoroughly reviewing the evidence, and over time, he uncovered that he himself had been a victim of bribery. The judge took a long time, and in the end, he decided to review the case completely. He announced, "I have decided that the land should be returned to its rightful owner, Mrs. Amina. I will review all the documents and evidence again, and I will set things right." But the judge did not stop there. He also decided to investigate other similar cases in the region, only to find that he had made many wrong decisions in the past due to accepting bribes. Ultimately, he was dismissed from his position and became an example to all. As for Amina, she got her land back and lived in peace with her children. Juha, who was the reason for exposing the judge's corruption, became a hero in everyone's eyes. He had taught everyone that justice cannot be bought with money and that the truth will always come to light, no matter how hard some try to hide it.